Here are detailed setup instructions, and you have them in writing in my project. And here you have a video also. You can follow me, and I will help you do this directly if you encounter difficulties. So I'll start with basic GitHub project setup, and I will guide you in particular with a setup for this specific project. But I try to do this for most of my other Udemy courses in for Snowflake. So this would apply as well to other repositories. The same for the second stage, Snowflake account configuration. I will show you how to create and configure a free trial account, and this will apply to basically any other course that I may have on Snowflake. The third part, ChatGPT account configuration. This is particular only for this specific course because it's ML oriented, machine learning oriented. I have also another course about integrations between Snowflake and ChatGPT, and this would apply also to that course. We'll always start with installing and configuring Visual Studio Code, yeah, known also as VS Code. So this is a free source code editor that we will use mostly for SQL and Python code snippets. You may have your separate preferred environment in like a PyCharm or something else, but I'll simply advise you, and if you do a lot of programming, get familiar also with VS Code because it is by far the most used, I think, on the market today. You can download it here for Windows, and it's self-explanatory for the rest. Just get comfortable with it a bit. You'll see me talking about opening a terminal windows and so on. So I'll not describe here in detail, how to use it. So this will be up to you. The next stage would be to switch to one of my GitHub public repositories, in particular for the ones that I have configured for you for the specific Udemy course you're watching. So, in this case here, I'm in Snowflake Cortex. I'm still working at this moment on this one. The course is not yet published, but you'll get something very similar when the course will be published. So, what you have to do here is to go to code, HTTPS, and just to copy. Yeah, copy this URL to clipboard. This is the address of the repository itself. Then just open Visual Source Code after Visual Studio Code after you installed it. Okay, I opened it here. So I'm at the root of C project. So just open it with nothing else here. And what I'll do here is I will say git clone, and I will simply paste the URL that I copied before from GitHub. Enter. What this will do, so just remember, I am in C projects. This is where I put my most of my projects for Visual Source Code, Studio Code, but not only. What this git clone does will simply create a copy, yeah, a local copy of the repository that you've seen in your local computer. So I'm on Windows here, and you can do this as well on Linux, on Mac. Okay, so this created, as you see here, a Snowflake Cortex folder. What I'll do now is I will open again VS Code, but this time I will say File, Open Folder, and I will open the newly created folder that Git clone created. So I will go into C projects, and you see here I have Snowflake Cortex. Okay, this is the one that I want to open. Okay, and from now on, you can simply open the README file, and you see you have different. We can go directly to these ones. You have three different files, MD files, Markdown files in 8 wrapping up. So that's a project setup that we just follow. Is a Snowflake setup and ChatGPT setup. Let's just follow this one, and here you can click on. you can see this markdown already transformed into something which is more friendly. Look for the shortcut to open a new terminal window. As you can see, I'm at the root of this GitHub repository in local mode. So I already installed Visual Studio Code. I already performed git clone. I already opened the file here. So right now, yeah, definitely you should, if you don't already have, you should install a Python version 3.9 for your project, as latest versions are not usually installed in Snowflake. I think this may work with more recent versions right now, but try not to to not install to not use your latest version, because it takes a while for them to come up with that version. For Python, you can go here. You see, Python 3.9. Just Google it or just follow the link that I have. And let's say if you're on Windows 64 bits, you can look for Windows x86 64 executable installer. Once this is done, yeah, basically you'll have to call Python exe dash m VM. So one of them, VM, is a keyword, but the other one is the name of the virtual environment that will create. A virtual environment will keep only specific Python libraries for a project. So this is what we'll have to do this. And we'll have to do this, you see, from the root level. Because I have several versions, I would try to use 3.9 versions that look, I have it somewhere here. As you can see here, it's in a different folder for me, but for you, it's very likely this would be different. Just follow the same, yeah. Just call Python exe-m vmvm. With Python, make sure Python is the version you need. Otherwise, you can do this to check the version. You see dash dash version, and yeah, they will tell you what's the version here. So okay, going back here, let's say Python dash m, and I have all autocomplete. Okay, I will call this one, and yeah, this may take a while. You can see here VM, that's a new environment that has been created. Okay, to switch now to this environment, yeah, you have to call VM scripts activate. As you can see, this is a command that already exists here. VM scripts, and you see activate. Yeah, that's a specific. I think that's a batch file or something that what it will do, as you can see here, this will switch to your VM, and now you'll be able to access only libraries that you installed here. And we'll do this, but right before, yeah, let's just call. So we are in this specific environment, and we can upgrade pip eventually just to make sure. Okay, requirement. Yeah, they say it's already satisfied. Yeah, for some modules, but not for everything. For every project at the root, I try to come up with a list of requirements text, the list of libraries that required everywhere in the project. It's not necessarily the best approach, but sometimes you'll find the requirements text in a subfolder. But I'll try to keep it simple, and I'll install them all at once, because I don't want you to spend time on this configuration each and every time. So what this will do, as you can see, at some point I use LangChain. Yeah, this is just for one project that I had here, not for everything, but I still install it here. What you can do, so going back to our steps here, you see we are right here. So we installed the environment, we activated it, we need to install all the dependencies, and we'll do this. If you want to install them one by one, you can say something like pip install, and let's say pandas. Yeah, you can do this if you want to install one single library. But for us here, we'll install everything that you passed in requirements.txt. Yes, this could be pandas and something else. Now, this will very likely take a while, because some of these packages here, some of these libraries are pretty large. Yeah. You see Snowflake ML Python. Yeah, definitely. I installed Jupyter. I installed Streamlit. That's a large library. Some other libraries could be smaller. But never mind. The idea is let's wait a while, and I'll be back when everything is installed. Okay, this took a while, as I said. Make no mistake, because we install very large libraries. So when you do this on your side, you can leave it here and go have a coffee. Have a coffee. Uh, you can even have lunch if you want to, because yeah, this may take I don't know. For me, it took about 20 minutes, 20 25 minutes or so. Never mind. We're at the point where we could call pip list, for instance, and see exactly what was installed here. Basically, this would complete our GitHub setup, yeah, GitHub project setup. About what's installed here. And you see, there is more than what we passed in the requirements text, because some libraries from there may refer to other libraries and install other libraries and so on. That's why we have this here. But pay attention to something. You see the versions here. We'll deploy a lot of code, yeah, in Snowflake as well, in their virtual machines. In their virtual machines, they have also Python installed, and they already have a list of Anaconda packages with all sorts of Python libraries. So let's take an example from here. So if you, let's say, if we refer to Snowflake ML Python, or let's say to Streamlit, yeah, to Jupyter, this is already installed on their site. So when we deploy our own code, they will just refer to their own versions. And it's very likely this happens a lot. They may have different versions installed there. And you'll get a warning. You'll see that most of our experiments where we deploy such code uh, come up with such warnings that for now we could safely ignore. Yeah. So I didn't see any impact, and I made sure everything is functional and working properly. But you never know what's happening in time. So in time, when you have such version conflicts, and this is very customary for all sorts of projects, and not just Python. This exists in any other language that I know about. That you may have this version conflicts. No, okay. The way they should do it at some point is to be able for us, let's say, to download such a requirements text list, and with specific versions, because you can say here, yeah, I want Snowflake ML Python with this specific version, let's say 140. Yeah. But unfortunately, they didn't do this for now, and yeah, I'll make sure in the future, if I find out about a better way to do this, I will post it here. In the meantime, let's have a quick look. You see at this environment, and continue with our setup. In the spool directory, I just uploaded a bunch of data files. Okay, so these are data sets that we'll use, but here I can dump also some models of mine and so on. So okay, for the rest, you see, I try to prefix everything with a number when I want these things inspected in order. So here are my sections that you'll find in the Udemy course. If you expand, let's say, such a section, yeah, let's take this one, ML power functions. Yeah, you'll see here classification, forecasting. So this relates to what you'll find in the lectures, yeah, in the Udemy course. And when you look inside, most of the time I try not to provide too many comments, too much information, because this repository is public and could be accessed by anyone. But only you'll have access to the detailed explanation of how to do it, what to do, and how to do it, because everything will be linked to the private videos that I provide in the course.